here's our already registered users, and the same thing here. So you see the central coordinate points of each of the plots, and even though the same thing will be happening in the buildings, or even though building floors, and the same thing is a counterpart, and this the same interaction, same buttons, and then is enough. And that's you see in the bottom level, you see the which number 300 136, and then 136 would like to delete it and update it, or maybe when you delete and you build the extra message, we would like to delete it. So it's look like when I did the test, complete application deployed and tested it, I will show you how it's exactly done with Selenium. Just create CRUD, do the every CRUD operation here. So we click it, and I believe it's deleted. So it works automatically, but I need to complete the implementation and then I deploy the application to the client machines, or even though my local machines, and I will show you detail how the test, every GUI functional test, GUI test with Selenium, how the interaction is works, editing, deleting, updating, or setting some values, or send or save, add, delete, all things. So here is our so that means our plot information. So plot forms, plot list is standard structure, and show the plot information. Exactly the same. That's what in the user registration, user role, and then other, and then the plot one. The structure is same, but just you need to just change the content of your pages, or content, or navigating your pages. That's the idea. So content information is to be changed, but the structure you have to be follow the standard, the generic structure. That means that means they have a less development effort, less maintenance effort. Your code is really flexible. You can change any part of your application. When this client needs different content management system, just you need to build your configuration and it works automatically. That's the idea too. If you need something to change in your form, just do it in the form change, and all part of the application works automatically, execute automatically. Just you need to carefully divide or modularize your application to build such a way then in the future you can very quickly or flexibly you can change it. That means it's less cost, less money, less time, and less effective, and it fulfill your customer requirements. That's the really you can optimize the application. So here, so let's start with so that means our user registration done, user role done, and then our plot is already done. And now we need to our buildings. That means building controllers. That means I said every plot has multiple buildings in the models. And that's I said in the models. So in the, every buildings. Who is the model? He is the model. So every plots has a multiple buildings. You see the geometry part, and it's a many plots, and then buildings. The building part, and every building has geometry part, and then here's the registration part. You see the every user registration has a role, and the geometry part. That's the definition. So that means every plot has geometry and buildings, and even though you can link to every which user is linked to the which plots, and which user is linked to the which buildings, and then which user is linked to the floor, depending how the models. But these are models for the plot and buildings level. So we this is controller building controllers. You the same thing, and additional two maps, where you take your central coordinate points from the buildings. So let's see how is it front end look like. So you see the building interactions. So you see the same thing. You have address ID, the reference of the users. That's an important part. You register user, who is responsible, who is the owner of this buildings, or who is the owner of this plot, or whatever it is, who is the owner of these floors, depending. This is the key, the linking between, if you are the single page application, if you are just like we have a list of users and build a list of buildings, that different cases you can even though combine it this one. So so address and user reference, plot, and which plot. This is one of the important parts. So that means one plot has multiple buildings. So this is the flag you need to set, or the plot has to be registered before you register your buildings. That's the natural. So without plot, you cannot build your buildings. That's the idea. So the code name, type, and remarks, and then your floor and total building heights and total floor units. How many units is a 5-story buildings? Then maybe 10 units, depending how is the model, or how maybe 10 5-story building has a full of 8 floor. That means one floor is only 1 unit. So total ground area means ground coverage area, total floor area, that means all four levels, and then it says setback rules. If you are the city planners or something like that, if you was governmental institute, then every building, when you build the buildings into the city area or any part of the or you city, then you need to set some rules like how much space you need to be free into the front, in the back, and left and right. That's the rule of the city governments need to be set. And depending how long is building, how the building coverage is it, and where is located these buildings. And here's the coordinate part that I said. So this is our standard buttons, and this is a reset button, and this is the coordinate that I already explained. How does it look like? You have to store your point coordinates and pick the point coordinate, or copy this point coordinate, fill it there, or build a button and to set this point central coordinate points in here, and then build. And there are alternative options. If you are not OpenStreetMap is a JavaScript library user, then you can do as like a Leaflet JavaScript library has the same functionalities. It works as it is, and then just you need to copy or you bypass it. You coordinate point to the your forms, and then you can show all the register buildings belongs to the plots and belongs to the users. You see the information. The plot is this plot. The plot number 127 has 2 buildings, 200 and 201. And here it's a 3, and it says a 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings, and then that's and so on, forth, so forth. And you already know what type of buildings is it, and the floors, and then floor numbers, and remarks. And you see that in the form 10 it has many more columns, but in the view part it's less columns. So depending, it's a design of the your GUI, or depending on your customers what they like to share it here. So it's the same thing is happening here. So that means the buildings, the controllers, and then same the view page is exactly the same. The building forms the same. Show buildings list exactly same as already done here. So this is the edit and delete button with the hyperlinks, and this is the protocol, and this is the content, and this is our iterations. And in there is additional if conditions. So if it's the null and give you bigger to base as it's not null, then iterate through this one. This is our counter attributes that we will talk about that one, and this is our header definitions. So show buildings, show building page. So as it is, that means form, list, and show information. That's the simple, very standard, very simple, and it works. Just we need to change the content and all respective call actions and controller action information. So building information, our controller's definition done, and view part is done. Now we need to additional one. So we have so building part done, building and plot part done. Now we need to our geometry, the real geometry, how the real geometry works. That I said last screencast. The geometry data controllers. So you see the controller definition. There's 2 controllers, and depending on the map controllers we need. So, but let's talk about this one. So we define our services, as we already explained detailed this one. So this is the geometry info controller and the request mappings, and these additional 3 columns, 3 actions for loading the maps with based on the which this is say that this is the controller map view from OpenStreetMap and map view from Leaflet. This is the view page, and this is the redirection of the maps, and this is the GeoServer application. I will show you how is a GeoServer application. I mean GeoServer application when you are in here OpenStreetMaps, and this is the recorder part. No, these different GeoServer applications. I mean here all the register. If you look at here, then all the register user, the plot user,